There's a certain magic in innocence, a purity that makes everything else seem less important. It's the kind of beauty that isn't about appearances, but about the way someone carries themselves, vulnerable, unassuming, and yet powerful in its quiet strength. Innocence doesn't mean ignorance, it means a heart untouched by the harshness of the world. And it's that purity that makes a soul truly irresistible, because it reminds us of what we've lost and long to reclaim. Sweet innocence is a rare quality, a quiet beauty that isn't loud or demanding, but it draws people in effortlessly. It's the light that shines from within, untouched by the cynicism and bitterness that the world often offers. To be truly irresistible, one must carry with them the energy of pure innocence. It's the way a gentle smile can soften even the hardest hearts, and the way kindness can melt the most guarded souls. There's something irresistible about a person who hasn't lost their sense of wonder, someone who still believes in the goodness of the world, whose innocence radiates like the first light of dawn. The power of innocence lies in its ability to make others feel safe. It's a subtle energy that invites trust and warmth, and it creates connections that are deeper than what words can express. In a world full of pretense, those who hold on to their innocence like a sacred treasure are the ones who stand out. Their beauty isn't in their perfection, but in the way they remain untouched by the chaos around them. Innocence doesn't have to be naive. It's the purity that comes from seeing the world through eyes that haven't been jaded by its harshness. And in that purity, there's a charm that others can't resist. Sometimes, the most irresistible people are those who are just starting to understand the world, those who haven't yet been broken by it. Their innocence is a reminder that there's still so much wonder to experience. The innocence that comes from a gentle heart and a kind soul is the kind of beauty that doesn't fade with time. It's timeless, attracting others not with external allure, but with a quiet magnetism. Innocence is not something you can fake. It's an energy that comes from within. It's the kind of authenticity that makes you magnetic because it's real, untouched by the weight of the world. When someone maintains their innocence, they possess a power that others cannot resist. It's a purity of spirit that doesn't require effort. It simply exists, drawing people in without even trying. Innocence is often mistaken for weakness, but those who carry it are stronger than they seem. It's a strength that comes from embracing the goodness in life, even when the world tries to make you cynical. There is an irresistible allure in the vulnerability of innocence. When someone opens up without fear of being judged, they show the world the true beauty of a pure heart. Sweet innocence is more than just a state of being. It's a way of interacting with the world. It's a soft, glowing energy that captivates those around you, creating a magnetic pull that's impossible to ignore. When you carry the innocence of someone who believes in love, kindness, and purity, you radiate an energy that is so irresistible, it's almost impossible to look away. Innocence is the one thing the world can never take from you unless you allow it. It's the part of you that stays untouched, no matter how much life tries to shape you. And it's that part that makes you so captivating. There's a quiet strength in those who maintain their innocence. It's not about being naive, but about holding on to the purity of their thoughts and feelings amidst the chaos. Innocence is a state of grace that Pierre-Paul can truly embody, but those who do exude an aura of effortless magnetism. It's the kind of energy that pulls people towards you without saying a word. The innocence that resides in your heart is like a beautiful melody, so soft and pure that those who hear it can't help but be drawn in by its enchanting rhythm. It's in the innocence of your laughter, in the purity of your intentions, that you become irresistible. People are drawn to those who make the world feel a little brighter just by being themselves. True innocence isn't about pretending to be something you're not. It's about embracing who you truly are, flaws and all, with the heart of someone who still believes in the beauty of the world. There's something so irresistibly attractive about someone who can look at the world with fresh eyes, someone who hasn't let the darkness cloud their vision, but instead still sees the light in everything. Innocence is the reflection of a soul that hasn't been tainted by negativity. It's the belief that even in the hardest times, there's still beauty to be found. And it's this belief that makes you irresistible. A person who carries innocence within them has a quiet confidence. They don't need to prove anything because their purity of spirit speaks louder than any words ever could. Innocence is the purest form of attraction. It's not loud or showy, but it's subtle, and its power lies in the way it makes you feel safe, accepted, and understood. When you hold on to your innocence, you hold on to your essence. You are unapologetically yourself, untainted by the opinions of others, and that kind of authenticity is incredibly magnetic. Sweet innocence is an energy that cannot be faked. It comes from deep within, from the way you see the world and the way you allow yourself to feel without fear of judgment. The world may try to take your innocence, but if you hold on to it with grace, you become a beacon of light in a world that often feels too dark. And in that light, you become truly irresistible. There's nothing more alluring than someone who has kept their innocence intact. Someone who hasn't allowed the hardness of life to steal their ability to see the beauty in others and in the world. Innocence is a rare gem in a world that often tries to destroy it. But those who hold onto their purity, who continue to see the world through the eyes of love and wonder, are the ones who leave a lasting impact. People are drawn to innocence because it feels like a return to a simpler, purer time. It's a reminder of the beauty that still exists in the world, waiting to be uncovered. There is an undeniable charm in someone who hasn't lost their childlike wonder, the way they approach life with open arms, welcoming each new experience with excitement and joy. In a world that constantly challenges our beliefs, innocence is the shield that protects us from becoming hardened. It's the thing that keeps our hearts soft and our souls connected to what really matters. Innocence is not the absence of experience, but the ability to maintain a pure heart despite all of life's trials. It's this resilience that makes you incredibly irresistible to others. When someone maintains their innocence, they become a source of light. They attract those around them not by hers, but through the purity of their energy and the kindness they radiate. Innocence is a quiet force. It doesn't scream for attention, but it commands it nonetheless. It's an unspoken beauty that speaks directly to the hearts of those who encounter it. There's a quiet power in innocence, a magnetism that draws people in because it's so rare and precious. In a world that often values experience over purity, innocence becomes a treasure. Sweet innocence is the kind of beauty that can't be faked. It's the genuine, unguarded way you move through the world, seeing the best in others and sharing that light with everyone you meet. Innocence is a soul that hasn't been dulled by life's harsh realities. It's the light that shines through when you refuse to let the world change your belief in kindness, love, and joy. There is an undeniable power in being yourself, unashamed of your innocence, unafraid to feel deeply, and unapologetically open to the world. That power makes you irresistibly attractive. Innocence is the essence of youth that never truly fades. It's the part of you that remains pure, unspoiled, and untouched by the cruelty that the world can sometimes impose. The beauty of innocence isn't in its perfection, but in its vulnerability. It's the quiet courage to show up in the world with an open heart, regardless of the risks involved. Those who carry innocence are a breath of fresh air in a world that often feels heavy and tired. They bring hope, joy, and an energy that is completely contagious. Innocence is a gift that cannot be bought or faked. It's a purity that comes from within, radiating from the way you interact with the world, with kindness and grace. There's an allure in innocence, a quiet understanding that despite everything, there's still goodness in the world. Those who hold on to that belief exude an energy that's impossible to resist. Innocence doesn't mean ignorance. It means having the ability to see the world through eyes that still believe in possibility, and that belief makes you irresistible.